Hi guys. Well, I got me a project. What we have here is an old Squire Strat 98 that somebody had found it on Reverb. And somebody had started trying to refinish it and blasted it a few different colors and gave up on it. Eventually put it out in the pasture for me to pick up cheap. And yeah, it's everything that it has is workable. Made a hell of a mess of the headstock and the tuners, which are all just hanging there. So I got to get these apart, see if they're salvageable or not. I think I'm just going to strip that paint off of it, which will happen to the whole headstock. Got a rather light colored rosewood. I think it's rosewood. Fingerboard. And it came with this pick guard. Had some really shitty pots and stuff, so I got rid of all that already. There. Don't know much about the pickups. 16.5, I checked it, so that's what the DC resistance is. Don't know anything more about it than that. I doubt I'll use it, but I'll just keep it for something. And a couple of cheap ceramic single coils. The magnet fell off of this one. So, pickguard has been used and abused, but you know, I'm going to try and clean it up. Maybe I can make use of it. I was going to try my hand at refinishing, but I'm going to leave this because I do kind of like it. The neck is beautiful fit on that neck. That's just sitting there by itself. There's no screws. So let's pry it out of there. Flip it over. June 1998. No more markage on it. We'll flip her over and see what we got going in here. We have a really rough claw going to the garbage, and sanding marks where somebody had sanded it down. Looks like it was black once upon a time, and it's been through a few incarnations. So yeah, here you go. So we'll take a look further and see what we can do with it. Okay, I got it all stripped off, all that really ugly paint. Came up pretty good, I think. Paint came off without too much effort. You just kind of make out there where it says Squire on the headstock, where the old deco was. And yeah, I use this stuff here, circa 1850. This stuff is awesome. It'll take anything off, but it won't hurt the wood. It's beautiful. It's for refinishing furniture. So anyway, there's step one of getting that disaster of a headstock cleaned up. And now I'm going to install the tuners, which by the way also came out pretty good. All that paint that was on the head. A little bit there in the hole, but I'll just poke that out. That'll come out no problem. But yeah, it worked good on that too. Just brushed a little bit of the stripper on, let it sit for 5 minutes, and wipe right off. So put those tuners back on, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, now that I have the neck all fixed up, the tuners in her, there, turned out pretty good. Good enough for a Strat, which is really all this is going to turn out to be, but it's fun anyway. So put that aside. We turn our attention to the next issue right here. Some genius has obviously stripped this out and then tried to drill it out, just made a mess. So we're going to try the old school plier thing, see if this will work. Get a grip on it and turn. Oh yeah, it's turning no problem. So now it's all bent too. So yeah, this is going to be, there we go, a bit at a time. So yeah, it's coming out. So that would be that. I'll get that out. I have another one. I've got several of these claws around, a couple of screws, and we'll be good to go. So yeah, I won't bore you with that. Give me a minute to get this thing out, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, nothing's ever as easy as it should be. Turns out the hole for this screw here is in the wrong spot. You can kind of see it there. So I had to drill a new hole for the screw, These are the only screws I have, and they're a little chewed up, but they're doing the job. And of course, push the wire through, the ground wire, which comes out over here. But we've got another conundrum. These holes are spaced for an import, and this is a USA or USA style bridge. So, as a result, the holes don't line up. I can line up this one here, and as you work your way across, you can plainly see that it's not lined up there, and it just gets worse and worse all the way across. Meaning, I got to plug these holes, and then re-drill for the USA spacing. So, like I said, things are never as simple as they thought. I thought it'd just be slap it together and good to go, but oh no, can't have that. Okay, so hang on a minute till I get myself organized for that. Alrighty, I've got two plugged already. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm taking these little dowels. I've drilled these holes open just a little bit. Didn't take much, but there's just a tiniest little bit tight for this doweling. So, which is good. So I don't need glue or anything because these are super snug. I take my plastic mallet and just drive them until they bottom out, and that isn't going anywhere. Then I have a pair of cutters here that are flush cut. These are flat right there, so they cut right up against the body, or pretty close to it. Okay, and there's just a little bit of a nub there. I have another little mallet here. It's got a plastic end on it. I'm going to give it one of those. Actually, I've got it better. Yeah. I have this block of wood. I can put that down. Hit it with the mallet. And that's pretty flush. And in case you're wondering about these downings, these are shish kebab skewers. 100 piece. Get them at the dollar store for next to nothing. And you get a bazillion of them in there, so you never have to buy them again. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to finish these off. Then I'm going to mark it for the holes for the new bridge and start drilling out new holes. Okay. Here we go. Got the bridge in place. Got the jack cup put in there. It's a black one. It's the only one I had. I'm going to change it off to a chrome one at some point. Wires, ground wire. And here is the pick guard I just built. This is a Seymour Duncan JB. These are a couple of single coils by, see if I can remember. Can't remember, but I'll get back to you on that. So, come back here. We've got 300K pot. It's halfway in between a 250 and a 500 to try to accommodate both a single coil and a humbucker. These things are always a bit of a trade-off, so that's where we are with that. Two tones. This tone is for the bridge pickup only, and this tone is shared by the two singles. Or that's the plan anyway. We'll see if it actually works like that. So yeah, so let's get this installed. Alrighty, got the pick guard screwed down. We're going to do the tap test. Make sure pickups work. Yep. 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 Make sure the tone. Okay, so it works. This tone is only for the bridge, and this tone does these two. And of course, the volume got a little bit of a hum in the background. That's because of this lamp. It makes a lot of electrical noise, so it's just the lamp. So we're going to put the neck on it now, and then take it from there. Alrighty, well, we're getting there. Pick guard's installed. A canabis and everything. The neck on it, hit it with a little bit of linseed oil just to clean it up. It was really, really dry. So that'll hopefully keep it in better shape. The frets are good. And yeah, there she is. So I'm going to throw some strings on it, and then we're going to see about the setup. Okay, got her all together. Strings on her. The action is like a suspension bridge. I got to bring that down. We're just going to have a quick look at the neck relief. Let's see. First fret action's pretty good, but it's an old guitar, right? So any issues like that would have been sorted out years ago. I like that. Actually, that's not bad. The truss rod works on this. I know. I tried it before I bothered to do anything, and yeah, I can work with that. So what we got to do now is figure out about getting the action down to its to playable. But that's going to take a little fiddling around, but no biggie. And let's see what's going on here. These saddles are pretty close to this one anyway. Pretty close to the deck. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it down. Might be close. Might be looking at a little bit of a shim. But let's give it a shot and see what we get. Yeah, this saddle's all the way down, and I've still got a good bit there, so I'm going to have to put a little bit of a shim at this end of the neck to give it a bit more of a tilt back. That will bring the strings down just a little bit. So the fun begins. Okay, got this plastic card here, a little bit of cardstock, and this stuff here, I measured it, it's about 1/64 of an inch. What that is in thou, I can't remember. It was many years ago when I was schooled in that stuff. So I just got to trim it up a little bit short and put it up here, just above the screws, this way of the screws. There. Okay, so I'm going to stick that in place. Beautiful. And put the neck in again. Come on, you bugger. There we go. This is a rather snug neck, which is good because you don't want moving around in the neck pocket. Nice snug neck pocket is exactly what we want. And I'm seeing what I like here with these strings too, so this should just do it. I'm gonna just bolt it back on, and we'll see what we wind up with. Okay, give me a minute and I'll screw these down. I'll be right back. Okay, neck is back on. Take the tape off. The tape is just to keep the strings from flying all over the place out of the nut when I had the neck removed. Just keeps everything in place. And now I'll tune her back up to pitch again. So this is big E string. Yeah, that's nice. I think that's going to work out just fine because I've already got this down to the deck, so if I bring it up just a little bit, this saddle will be pretty much in the middle of its travel, which is where you want it. And when I'm tuning up with new strings particularly, I'll do a couple, then I'll go back again. Because what happens is as you tighten the strings, the string tension, which on a set of 10s, which these are, is about 110 to 120 pounds. That's a lot of pull. So you're going to get the neck will start to bend more and more as the string tension goes on until it gets to the point where the truss rod won't allow it anymore. Which means that the string tension will release because the neck is doing this. So you got to go back and recheck. Just how I like to do it, because you're going to have to go back and do it again anyway, so you might as well do it on the fly. B. This one's gone flat. This one's gone flat. And G's alright, so I just did it. And the B. And we go up to the little E. And bring it up again. And there, so let's see what we have here now. So I got to bring the biggie up a little bit, bring the other ones down, and we should be good to go. Okay, checking the radius of the board. It's a 7.5 inch radius, or sorry, it's 9.5 inch radius, not 7.5. So it's a little bit more modern string radius, which is good to know because now I'm gonna fiddle with these. I usually go by eye. I know where I like it. This isn't really a how-to video, it's just me doing it. But when I'm all done, I can drop this on the strings and I'll see if I got the radius more or less right. It won't really matter too much because as long as it plays the way I like it, then that's all good, right? So, how will I do with my Allen key? Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, put the Allen key back. Now, when you're playing with the bridge, if the bridge is already the same radius of the fingerboard, you just have to move it up and down. Each screw has to be turned the same amount, otherwise you throw off that string radius. So I'm going to bring this down like a half a turn and tune the pitch. Let's have a look and see. I'm going to go down about another quarter turn. There are specs that are readily available online for Fender guitars. You can get that, use feeler gauges and all that, which is great if you're doing work for somebody else and you don't really know what the guy likes. Just set it up to spec and then you can take it from there, right? I know my guitars, I know how I like it, so I can do my whole setup pretty much by eye. That's what I'm doing. A little buzzy. So I'm going to bring it back up just a little bit. That's better. So I'm going to continue with these and I'll be right back. Okay. I'm just going to tighten the truss rod a little bit. Oh, it's flopping around in there loose, that's probably why. Okay, so righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go. There. Should keep the truss rod, keep the neck nice and stable anyway. And then we'll see. See what we get. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we're at now. give it one more little crank, and see where we get. I'm going to do this whole setup again tomorrow too, after everything's had a chance to settle in overnight. And then we should be good. Once I get this sort of sorted out, I'm going to do a quick intonation on it, get it in the ballpark. And as I said, tomorrow we'll do it again. And then we should have something. Okay, so I got things a little bit rough. I'm going to adjust the two E's, this one and this one, to more or less where I want them. Then I'm going to use the radius gauge to bring all the rest of them to where they should be, so that they're a perfect 9.5 inch radius from here to here. And in theory, that should be pretty close. Alright, so it's alright. Okay, so question is, what do? Do I bring the high strings down or the I'm going to bring this one down. It's a balancing act. I'm trying to get the first setup on a freshly built guitar. After that, it's just tweaking up and down. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to continue with that, and I'll get back to you with how it works out. Okay, so I got it all set up best I can. There's a little fret buzz, but that's from a few high frets. I've checked them. Tried to tap them down a little bit here and there, but helped a bit. But really, it's going to need a fret dress, which will be a project for another day. But so she plays pretty good, all things considered, for a beater guitar that I got in pieces. I'm happy with that. She's not a looker, but she's a player, and really that's all that matters. So that's it for that one. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this one. So anyway, any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.